we say that Mr. Modi is invincible? Could the opposition have done anything better to change the mood of the nation?
Maybe a better word is unstoppable.
Yes.
What could it have done?
There is always a possibility, but I think of politics structurally. And the nature of politics is such that opposition does not have many chances. To use a cricket analogy, if, say, Tendulkar or Virat Kohli is in full form, no matter you ball a Yorker or you ball a sort of like, a googly and spin, they will hit you.
But Tendulkar has got gold, Modi has never got gold.
This is why leaders are important. But think of 50s and 60s politics. Was there no leaders in opposition? There was Lohia and other things. Could they challenge Nehru and Congress party? No, because in political time, now you counted 7 things. Everything is in favor of BJP, yes. Right? So at the moment, I don't think like there is any X factor. The only X factor could be that we have no sense of what's happening on the ground. People have made up different mind and they are telling something else. So at the moment, everything is aligned in favor of
Here's what I wish to say. Let's just zoom out for a moment and think of the larger picture in a more historical perspective. I was at the Pran Pratishtha of the Ram Mandir at Ayodhya, where while Prime Minister Modi was being introduced, he was linked to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, the ideal Hindu king, who at that time, really demonstrated all the virtues that good Indian kings should have. So he's kind of being projected in a historical arc in that same kind of weight category. Rahul Verma, is there any contemporary political figure who comes to your mind who 10 years on, not just in India because there's no comparison here, but even internationally, 10 years after being in power, manages to increase his party's vote share by 3%. Go back in time. Who comes to your mind?
Can I make someone who can?
Yeah, who?
We often tend to, since Nehru is still in the news. Remember, Nehru in the early 60s was a weakened prime minister, the war with China. Despite that won. Please understand.
No, but his vote share kept coming down.
But
his vote share in the years that he was in power, the Congress kept losing ground, the BJP is gaining ground. And there was no opposition.
But where is the opposition today?
That's what I'm saying.
Where is the opposition today?
There was no opposition.
I would only like to since you asked, I think only Nehru can be compared.
Rahul Verma, okay, so you've got Nehru, Modi punching in the...
From a party who got us independence, that kind of goodwill to Congress party after 47, with all the heavyweights of our freedom struggle on the Congress side. Let's be very, very honest. The 52-53 mandate was not Mr. Nehru's mandate.
62 I'm talking about.
62, yes. But the vote share dipped. Vote share dipped a lot.
No,
and
but
there
by
was
then
no
his
He goes up in 57.
Yeah,
but in 62 and after that, he's being punished for his actions. The people in India at this moment are rewarding Modi and the BJP for what they are seeing, far from punishing. Let's spend some time on this. Historically, who comes to your mind? Yashwant Deshmukh?
No, nobody. I mean, nearest that from the... and one point which I wanted to make, where I can probably answer your question, is the hunger to win and willingness to work 24/7 to let that happen. And that thing, only person which comes to my mind is Mrs. Indira Gandhi.
Yes.
Besides that, no other prime minister in India had a hunger to win.
I'm not restricting this conversation, Raj Chingappa, to India. Raj Chingappa, in a historical context, who comes to your mind? Somebody democratically elected.
Only an authoritarian leader who knows how to fix the mandate across the world.
How is he fixing the mandate?
No. I'm not talking about Modi. I'm talking when you say give me an example parallelly. There are democratic countries where you will have the likes of a Putin in Russia and Erdogan in Turkey, who will know how to, in a way, manage the mandate.
Erdogan had a very tough fight. He won with 6 percentage points.
In a relatively free and fair system like ours, to do it over 3 elections with your popularity increasing, I think makes Prime Minister Modi sui generis.
You look at Algeria, where there was, this thing that Burj Khalifa, when Nehru was there, then I went with Hamid Ansari, he was still Prime Minister.
Yeah, but let's not compare Algeria with India. I think, Rahul, you make a very good point. In a democratic society like ours, with all the pulls and pressures, as we are seeing in our poll, South India having a very different politics, states like Maharashtra, Bihar, Bengal, Karnataka looking tough for a while. I think Mr. Modi has done the remarkable job of holding his popularity. I will only say this, and I think this is an important point that we need to make. While we talk of the invincibility of the Prime Minister, and I think CSDS's post-poll in 2019 showed 1 out of every 3 voters voted for the BJP because of Prime Minister Modi. The BJP itself
is not invincible.
He's not invincible. That's why I made the slightly controversial point that if I was the opposition, I would focus on states. When Mr. Modi is not on the ticket, the BJP is weakened. You want a strategy for the future? Start from the states.
Okay,
the problem is you're going to make this, the India Alliance has come into this 2024 election with no clue of how they want to face up to Mr.
Just
Modi.
to remind the viewers, Rahul, once and again, we are so damn focused on 14, 19 and probability of 24 that we are forgetting the fact that BJP as a party has lost 50% of the elections in this country in the last 10 years. 50%.
Yeah.
So invincibility of Mr. Modi as an individual which the BJP is benefiting from is not exactly the invincibility of the BJP. Number one. Number two, yes, I concede and I understand being a conservative pollster, this is probably the starting block of BJP and the NDA. And majority of our polling was happened before the Ayodhya Pran Pratishtha. That impact has to come in, and with the way they are looking out for alliance partners and the way they are going about it, this can only go up. Having said that, if you will ask me if there is any, I don't see a black swan because nobody can predict a black swan, but one red flag, that is the complacency factor. Complacency factor was the factor which caused them.
Are they looking complacent to you?
No, they are not. But 2004, urban areas, the turnout dropped by 18%, and that caused the
Modi is no
BJP.
Vajpayee.
That's precisely what I was trying to say. They have learned their lessons pretty hard, and neither Modi is Vajpayee,
Can I give you a very
nor
interesting
Mr.
anecdote now?
Bhagwat is Mr. Sudarshan.
Sure.
Both the factors are remaining.
Can I give you a very interesting anecdote?
just
this
one-
morning, I was told by an MP, Parliament has been extended by a day. The BJP is going to put out a white paper on what the Congress did over 10 years. क्या जरूरत है अगर 300 सीट मिल रहे हैं? What to put white paper? लगता है desperate है. मैंने कहा desperate नहीं है. They want to take that 320, 330 that the mood of the nation is good because he wanted to know the numbers. 320, 330 to 370, 375. एक दिन भी नहीं छोड़ना है Parliament का. If we can get an extra Saturday in, where all the TV channels for 7-8 hours will talk about this white paper, keep the mahal going. So there is no complacency. On the other hand, it's like a team which has scored 350 runs is sure to win. But things, last 10 overs, all 100 run करके 450 जाते हैं.
Amitabh Tiwari, look at how this 400 par is seeping into the psyche of the opposition. The Congress guests we had today, even Kharge ji in Parliament, they are referring to 400 par. They should be dissing the idea of It's like you have the most, forget ideology for a moment, you have the most competent practitioner of the political craft up against the most inept practitioners of politics in the Congress.
You are right.
That is why when you
Rahul,
have them go head to head.
What Modi did, sorry, Raj,
just a quick point. I think one, when you look at what he's done in terms of 370 and 400 for the NDA, he's addressing what the concerns Yashwant was talking about. He has pushed the bar even further, higher and better. So, and today you feel he's getting 303 and he shouldn't be getting 400.
No, but you heard what Rashid said.
The second point.
Congress will be happy with this.
The second point I would like to make. Ek chota sa point.
Yes.
Rashid.
See, Congress thinks that if India Today and Yashwant Deshmukh are saying 71, it means Congress is well past 100 seats.
That's how they're thinking.
Yeah.
No, I just have a
That's what they're saying.
addition to this one. You were asking about who else would you go. I think Mr. Modi is in a league of his own. And
Internationally.
Internationally, yes. And see, we are the world's largest democracy. I think we have produced great leaders.
Precisely.
You may not agree with Nehru or what he did. Come at the hour, it was Nehru. Come at the hour, this time, it was Modi. And I think we must, in many sense, commend that rather than bring comparisons Indira Gandhi.
So Nehru is one comparison. I'm saying go internationally, Raj, with all the expertise and experience.
You see, there, you could get other kinds of leaders who had just held on to power.
In the recent power,
you can't have any comparison with American presidents because they have to give up their terms in 2 terms. You might end up with a Putin, Erdogan, and all those. These are not the kind of leaders you'd like to match this. Or even Xi Jinping, the other side, right? He's also there, but of course a completely different system. So if you really look in terms of democratic nations, as I said, he's in a league of his own. I don't think we need to bring comparisons. Here's a person, as Rajdeep described, we talked of leadership. We have to appreciate that. May like him, may not like him. There is something about him that is, converted a nation of 1.6.
I think, again, I completely agree with Raj, and just to add to him, see, what sets Modi apart from everyone, that see, Nehru inherited a party and an organization. Modi also inherited. But BJP was not present in many parts of India as a strong force. What Modi has done in these 10 years has put the party on map in eastern India. In many states where they were in single digit are now running governments, right? So what he has done electorally has basically created that machine which was there, maybe using all kinds of things. But now BJP is a very, very formidable and unparalleled election machine in contemporary politics across the globe.
Can I add,
I think that is one of his biggest
across the globe,
contributions.
you think?
Yeah, you know, can I add two more M's? Interesting. One is middle class. I remember Arun Jaitley telling me this 10 years. He says, as India becomes more and more middle class country, he believed that the BJP was there at the right place, right tap to capture on the energies of this middle class. I believe post 1991, ironically, the Congress party didn't capitalize on the zeitgeist of this new India. They went in the other direction when they should have actually taken credit for Manmohanomics, built this middle class constituency. Look at across urban India, and as India gets more and more urbanized, look at BJP's performance across urban areas. Mr. Modi is popular in both rural and urban. We forget the Labharti scheme and the impact that has had, direct benefit transfer, using it to put money in people's hands. But I think middle class has become a core constituency of the BJP, and they've built around that. And whether we like it or not, it's maybe the elephant in the room to some majoritarianism. Particularly in North India, there is a sense of a Hindu majority. The point you made, a new republic, somewhere it's the Hindu assertion. That also is a major factor. When I add Labharti and Hindu assertion, I don't think you can win an election.
But which government in the past, Rajdeep, has spoken of making India a developed country and set a timeline for it?
Sure.
And actually then mobilize the will and try to build the circumstances which allow us to move in that direction. This is the only other government that I know.
Rahul, there I want to only put one small caveat, which is there are areas of darkness in this country. Let's be honest. Whether it's the ethnic
but there are areas of darkness in the United States. There are areas of darkness in Europe.
Rahul, just as I believe the middle class has arrived, unemployment is a serious crisis. It's going to get worse in the era of automation. Education systems will not be able to match what the new market needs. I just think, let's not say that we've reached there.
No,
Mr. Modi is offering a dream. Mr. Modi is offering a dream.
And making the effort to achieve that dream.
He's offering a dream.
He's offering a vision, and he's making the effort to take us in that direction. So it's not as if he's sitting on his laurels.
But then tell me why.
Aspiration is not just middle class, Rajdeep. Middle class is like 50 shades of grey. Anybody who is not in BPL family is a middle class. Okay. So from lower middle class to middle class to the higher middle class, it's an aspirational class. And he is a person who is showing a vision and a dream that, okay, you are maybe suffering, but what the India which I'm trying to make will be a great India for your kids, your grandchildren. And he's working towards that.
But then tell me, if this was also perfect, the double engine, as we saw in certain states, doesn't work. I think India is too complicated to reduce it to, Modi's captured the attention of all of India in every election.
That's why
he's captured it in a presidential style. In elections, increasingly are presidential at the national level. Mera leader kaun hoga? Mera prime minister kaun hoga? Mr. Modi, with his consummate ability as a communicator, and the point I keep making, Rahul, which Prashant Kishore also now makes, Mr. Modi's been around 50 years in politics. He's seen various, these black swan events, you're able to conquer sometimes through your past experience. It's like a journalist. If you've been 40 years, we can do live program. Pehle saal, it was a struggle. Mr. Modi's been there. He's done the hard yards. Let's give him credit.
He's been in power since 2002.
He's been in power for 22 years, and that gives him experience of hand. On the other side,
he's become elite.
You've got regional leaders who've been stuck in their states. I think one of Mr. Modi's major achievements is from Gujarat Chief Minister. When he became Gujarat Chief Minister, we thought, ye kaise banega, RSS ka aadmi hai, has no experience in governance. When he becomes Prime Minister, we said, yeah, Prime Minister kaise banega?
You said.
Look, no, one minute. I will say this, and I have proof. Mr. Javed Akhtar at a dinner in 2012, 1 week after Modi won Gujarat a third time, he said, yaar, kya lagta hai, Modi ji aayenge center pe? To maine kaha, hai, I think Modi ji will come to the center. I think he will win the elections. 2012 December, before he tilted. He said, nahi, he is haunted by 2002, nahi ho sakta hai. I said, sir, there comes a time when a person can sort of go beyond his sort of past to the future. So I will not take that, but I will say this, that he surprised people. I would certainly.
And he continues to surprise people.
He continues to surprise.
And he continues to surprise the same people who never cease to be surprised. But that's a different matter.
That's a good line. That's a good line.
No, but it's true. It's true.
That's true.
The thing is that, see, the matter of fact is that he works hard. And I think pretty much, and I've said this to Raj, that, as one of my physics professors, he never used to give us marks on the final answer of the numericals. He used to give us the marks on what did we attempt. Dimag lagaya ki nahi lagaya, koshish ki nahi ki. I think Indian voters are coming to an age where they want to see the leaders make an effort. If you make an effort, they are even willing to own up your failures. See how people have owned up his demonetization failure. Okay. People, majority of them say, galat tha, lekin sahi niyat se kiya.
Okay. So we are out of time. We are out of time. We need to finish.
There are two politicians which are fascinating in that sense, using this effort point. One is Mr. Modi, one in a very different way, Naveen Patnaik. Yeah. 25 years, never lost, and you ask people, nahi sir, koshish kar raha hai. You see, Indian voters, he's right, want to reward well-intentioned.
Okay, so we are out of time. We need to wrap up. Rajdeep?
No, Rahul, just one little point. I think it's more than just try. Modi delivers. He has demonstrated that on time also. Whether it is building a parliament building, getting things done, he made sure. That is the culture change.
And also remember that at the end of 10 years, Dr. Manmohan Singh, with no disrespect to him, was completely tired. The government was just coming apart. Even Vajpayee ji, at the end of his 6 years, was very tired. He had to say, "Na tired, na retired." But the government wasn't energetic. Prime Minister Modi continues to stay as energetic, as pumped up. Where people around, and I've seen younger officers, much younger than him, and at New York, at the yoga day, I asked one young officer in his team, "Arey, tum kyun nahi kar rahe?" "Arey, nahi, unme zyada energy, hum mein kam." So, that's like people half his age. Okay, so Rajdeep, before we wrap up, if you were Modi, what song would you be singing tonight?
What's that song that Shah Rukh Khan had? Number one.
I don't expect me to know.
What
Does anybody else know? Batao,
I'm the best. I'm the best.
I'm the best.
I'm the best. Koi hero yahan, koi zero yahan. I'm the best. Look,
if you're Rahul Gandhi, what song are you singing tonight?
You're putting me in trouble because you want... Ye kya hua, kab hua, kaise hua. Look, there are lots of songs. But look, seriously, I hope for the
Rashid
sake...
has another song.
Can I though say something? For the sake of Indian...
Okay, Amitabh Tiwari, 1 second.
अपना टाइम आएगा अरे भाई एडवाइजर्स बता रहे हैं उसको यही अपना टाइम आएगा
Rahul, he sounded like Devendra Yadav.
Look, let's not rule out anything.
Like Devendra Yadav.
He is saying Rahul Gandhi thinks अपना टाइम आएगा.
नहीं, Rahul Gandhi is being advised कि साहब अपना टाइम आएगा.
I hope for our sake of our democratic process and indeed for our television coverage, we have an exciting election. I hope that this mood of the nation doesn't result in most people believing up kyun dekhna hai.
No.
Jeetna to hai.
But
I hope we have a contest.
is that the reason he has given the Shagufa of 360, 370 and 400? Because he might be feeling, Rajdeep bore ho raha hoga. Kuch naya do.
We're out of time.
Something
if you look at the numbers across social media, across digital, across television over the past 4 hours of programming, I can see that there is interest. So Rajdeep may be feeling slightly, there's no fun over here. There's a lot of excitement, buzz around the India story, a lot of excitement about the Bharat of the future and around these poll numbers as well. I think that will continue through. So I think Rajdeep's earned his dinner. Sung for his supper.
Sung for my supper. India has been modified, it appears, as per the mood of the nation. We'll wait and see what the voter really wants. This was simply a teaser to what might be lying ahead.
So day 2 tomorrow. A lot of detail on impact of Ayodhya, the impact of Nitish Kumar switching in Bihar, the performance report card of the Prime Minister, his government, the opposition, all that and more coming up in part 2 of the India Today Mood of the Nation all through the day tomorrow. So we'll see you again.
You're with the India Today Mood of the Nation biannual survey brought to you in partnership with C Voter, which has done this comprehensive nationwide survey at a time when all eyes are on the big question: who will win the general elections of 2024? That's the question that we're going to answer in a detailed manner this time, but not just the big picture. We'll be going state by state to bring you all the results you've been waiting for.
This is the last Mood of the Nation opinion poll before the general elections of 2024, which is what makes this that much more important, and so much rides on the results of this Mood of the Nation opinion poll. Let's introduce you to our guests who are going to join us over the next several hours as we bring you the results of the Mood of the Nation poll. I want to start by introducing Yashwant Deshmukh, lead cephalogist at C-Voter. He's got this fancy Himachali cap on and has been working very hard over the last several weeks, and lots of changes, Rajdeep, in the chess drawing board, forcing revisions in the MOTN sample. So he's really been working doubly hard, not just because of us, but also because of all the changes that happen.
And there could be more changes within the next month. You know, change is the only constant.
Next month or tonight, tomorrow, there could be changes galore, and therefore we'll have to keep looking at these numbers very carefully. Flanking him is Raj Chingappa, editorial director at India Today magazine. He and his team have worked on compiling and dissecting the results of this poll, and you can read the analysis in the new issue of the magazine, which is out in stands now. We've got Amitabh Tiwari, who's joining us, political analyst, and to our left we've got Rahul Verma. Rashid Khidwai joins us, and we've got Sanjay Kumar from CSDS. So this is really as sharp a political panel as can be, and I'm discounting myself. And no, I'm keeping Rajdeep there, discounting myself, but a very sharp panel on this. So what we'll do for a moment is take you through the methodology adopted by C-Voter for this poll, and then we'll go state by state in getting you the results of this poll. So this Mood of the Nation opinion poll was done between the 15th of December and the 28th of January. Largely, some polling happened later when there were specific changes like there were in Bihar, but largely between the 15th of December and the 28th of January. For this poll, the sample size was 35,801. But C-Voter, as our viewers know by now, has a continuing tracker sample. So that adds 1,13,000 interviews to the Mood of the Nation sample, giving us a robust sample size of 1,49,000 for this sample and the tracker that's been going on between the 15th of August and the 31st of January. So there's a 3% plus minus margin of error at the micro level, and Yashwant claims he has a 95% confidence level. So that said, Rajdeep, let's now dive straight into the numbers for Uttar Pradesh.
Okay, let's go state by state, and we are starting with the state of Uttar Pradesh, because remember, generally it's believed all roads to Delhi lead through Lucknow. That certainly to some extent has been the case in 2014 and 19, given the domination that the BJP has had in the Hindi heartland. But let's take a look at what the Mood of the Nation poll is saying. First, let's take a look at vote share, because vote share will give you a sense of where the parties stand. And what we are predicting at the moment is a 52% vote share for the NDA, which means that the NDA is actually up from last time. They're even higher than they were in 2019 when they did remarkably well in that election. The India Alliance, and presumably this India Alliance includes the Congress, the SP and the RLD as of now. The RLD could well switch sides. Therefore, at the moment, they're at 36%, up 10% last time, but they have lost the BSP, which was in 2019 with the Samajwadi Party, and others 12%, primarily the Bahujan Samaj Party. But the key thing is, how does this translate into seats? That's the difficult task that Yashwant has undertaken. The seats, what would the seats be in the 80-member UP Assembly? And just take a look at that. The NDA goes up from 64 to 72 out of 80. It's a gain of 8. So NDA, BJP holding rock solid in the saffron heartland in a way. The India Alliance 6 to 8, so only a marginal increase, and that's divided between 1 for the Congress and 7 for the Samajwadi Party. Others are completely wiped out. The 10 last time were the BSP. So Rahul, the first big numbers clearly show the BJP holding its own in what's become its bastion.
And if the BJP is already at 72 in the way the state plays right now, Yashwant, the most important question is, now that RLD is very clearly in talks with the BJP, if Jayant Chaudhary was to join the NDA, where could that 72 reach?
Well, I mean, of course, it will impact minimum number of 2 seats for sure. But it's not just about how many seats that RLD is contesting and they are likely to win. It's also about the overall impact of the Jat voter consolidation in the entire Western UP, and not just Western UP, but across in other states which have a significant number of Jat voters. So that, having said that, Rahul, let me be upfront about this one. And me and Raj discussed this so many times about the numbers of the seats and everything. You know, I am a conservative pollster. And I find it very difficult to tell people that, you know, why are these others or other NDA numbers or non-NDA numbers coming up, even when you have NDA or BJP crossing 50% of vote? That is simply because of the probability. When you say any party is there in that particular region, even if you cross 0 to 1, in UP with 6 regions, you end up with 0 to 6 kind of range. So it's also a question of probability. Otherwise, this number with this kind of a vote share could end up anywhere.
So you're saying it could be 80 also?
I will not say it cannot happen.
No, because he's sitting on 72 and he says, I'm conservative.
No, it is a possibility. You know, it can't be ruled out. But let's, you know, we are T20 style today. So I'm going to ask all our panelists quick responses because we are going through the entire country. Raj and Gappa, Uttar Pradesh, as I said, the road to Delhi leads to Lucknow. If this is the result of Lucknow, clearly the keys to Delhi are in the hands of Prime Minister Modi.
No doubt Uttar Pradesh is the bellwether state, and if it is showing the kind of results that the India Today C voter poll is showing, the BJP is on its way. I would only like to point out a little bit of history because the Prime Minister Modi had said he'd want to win 405 seats and for the BJP 370 seats. So if you look back, the only person who did that was Rajiv Gandhi, who won 405 and of course subsequently became 414 when Assam and Punjab were added on. And at that time in UP, that was the undivided UP, I think the Congress won 82 out of 85 seats. It was a sweep. Now, if we are going by these figures, and as they've touched 50%, I'm sure the other pollsters would say that the BJP would require to max in Uttar Pradesh if it has to get its target of 370 that it wants.
Remember, those two elections are very different, Amitabh Tiwari, because the 84 election was held in the aftermath of the assassination of then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. It was an election won largely on the back of sympathy. Here is Prime Minister Modi, who's been in power for 10 times. This is not a empathy, sympathy vote. This is a performance vote. If you end up 72, or if Yashwant says could be even higher, that would be the most incredible performance imaginable.
Yeah, so if these numbers hold true, if you see whatever is BSP's loss of 10 seats, is largely accruing into the tally of the BJP. BJP is gaining 10 seats at the expense of BSP. So if these numbers hold true, then what is clearly being shown is that it is largely a pro-incumbency vote. It is a pro-Modi vote, it's a pro-development vote, it's a pro-vote for his policies and the way he has handled the economy.
But are you surprised because Rahul Verma, Uttar Pradesh was for a long time, for about 30 years, completely fragmented. Now suddenly, since 2014, the BJP has come to dominate the state, 2 general elections, 2 assembly elections, and now you could have a 3rd general election. Is the BJP therefore entering into UP much like it was in Gujarat, a completely dominant party, 50% more, 50% vote and more, suggests a dominant state?
Absolutely, Rajdeep. One reason for fragmentation in the 90s and early 2000s was that there were at least 4 credible players that were present. BJP, Congress, SP and BSP, the regional parties were very, very strong. Over a period of time, Congress declined and also BSP declined. So why Yashwant is saying that the numbers are conservative? Because this time BSP is moving out and they are still holding on to 10% or some vote share there, which means that actually the numbers could be much more than 75, even touching 70.
No, but here's the thing. It reflects the continuing trend of elections becoming bipolar. Remember, the BSP, according to Yashwant's analysis, is projected to come down from 19% vote share last time to 8% this time. That's 11% down. And this is a party which in 2007 had won 200 plus seats. So that just shows how the BSP has ceded ground to now become a rump. 8% Sanjay Kumar for the once mighty BSP just shows that for time to come, elections in UP will be BJP on the one side and Samajwadi Party on the other, with a much weaker Samajwadi Party against a much stronger BJP.
Rahul, we need to understand why elections are becoming bipolar not only in UP but in Bihar and many other states. because I get a sense that the entire election now is being contested in the name of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I don't see this election as a contest between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi or Narendra Modi versus any other leader. It is a referendum on how do you rate the performance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So people are divided on two axes, pro-Modi, anti-Modi. And you see the election becoming bipolar on this, not on the issues, but largely on this factor. If you are on pro-Modi side, you tend to align, your party tend to align with NDA, and if you are anti-Modi, you tend to align with the UPA, or if you are not able to align with the UPA, then you go alone. But that is what is happening in UP.
But where does this lead, therefore, the India alliance, Rashid Kidwai? Because you've got a situation where you are tying up with the Congress and Samajwadi Party tying up. We still don't know how the seat distribution will take place. But when they look at these numbers, there'll be a sense of hopelessness almost, particularly if Jayant Chaudhary also leaves the alliance. Even if Mayawati, was to come on their side, which seems unlikely in a few weeks' time, either way, India alliance is starting this race with one hand tied behind its back.
Yes, Sajid, there is a total sense of despondency, but I still think Mayawati is the biggest insurance policy that BJP has in Uttar Pradesh. Imagine this 8-10% vote going to India alliance would have made material difference. And second thing is how many Gandhis, three Gandhis, Rahul, Sonia and Priyanka, how many of them are going to be in fray? Because unless they contest, and same applies to Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav and Dimple Yadav and all those people, credible people.
Now, what's your sense? Will any of the Gandhis contest now?
I think they are looking for Rajya Sabha route. At least one of them will get into Rajya Sabha.
No, but I don't agree with Rashid Kidwai. He says BSP joining the India alliance makes a difference. Even if I add 36 and 8, that's 44. Up against 51 for 52 for the NDA, it still leaves them 6 short.
No, but
even if there is perfect transfer of votes, even if there is perfect transfer of votes, which we saw in the last elections when they were both stronger in the BJP, not as strong, it still didn't make a difference.
Look, Rahul, BJP is the dominant party of UP. There's no doubt about that. And all the other parties are basically trying to compete for that same anti-BJP vote that exists. So even if they come together, they're actually only consolidating the anti-BJP vote. The BJP vote itself, once it's crossing 50%, even if it was 48% tomorrow, they would still be well over 60 as they were in 2019. So I think...
And Rahul, we are not factoring in the Ram Lahar, which is there. There is a lot of... Why people are shifting? Because they think that there is going to be a huge, consolidation in favor of BJP in Uttar Pradesh. And that
Salman, so this was a cricket match and the BJP ends up 72 out of 80 in the first state, and the projection across our table of really sharp political minds is that it could actually even be more. Then, the Congress and the India alliance are out of the race even before the race has begun. Shehzad can say, okay, thank you very much, I don't need to do the talking. Modi is doing the talking for me.
Rahul, no game is over till it is totally over. So I know this is a very disappointing save for the India alliance, but I must say that despite all the advantages that the Prime Minister and Amit Shah and BJP have built up over these 10 years or so, they're still pretty much at 50%. The opposition has not been able to come together as we need to defeat this power so far. But the election is not over. The election is going to be contested in UP and all over the place. And by the way, I know you people said something about the performance. This is a performance election. If this is a performance election, I want to ask you. I want to ask the people of UP, for example, that until 2014, UP's economy was larger than Tamil Nadu's economy. Now, 10 years later, and most of that is under, well, all of it is under Prime Minister Modi, and most of it is under Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Why is the UP economy now smaller than the Tamil Nadu economy? What has changed? Now, at the national level,
we are doing a T20 style analysis, so we want 1 point at a time. You made your point. Let Shehzad Poonawala now respond. Shehzad, the fact is that UP is seen now as a dominant party state. Do you give credit to the Modi factor, the Upyogi factor, a combination of both, the fact that the double engine there seems to be really working at the moment?
Rajdeep, I give credit to 3 factors, and let me complete my answer. 1 is Ram Lala, 2 is Geeta, and 3 is PD, and let me complete. Ram Lala means Rashtriya Suraksha, Mahila, Labharti, leadership, and Arthavavastha. Gita means growth, information, innovation, infrastructure, technology and Atmanirbhar Bharat. And PDA means performance, delivery and aspiration. Today, Rajdeep, Modi ji and Yogi ji have converted the vocabulary of people like you from anti-incumbency to pro-incumbency, where even the most critical cynics like Yogendra Yadav and Rajdeep Sardesai in the democratic newsroom also have to say that BJP ko सबसे ज्यादा नंबर मिलेंगे ही. This kind of conversion happens when time after time the people see the leadership and the performance of the party on the ground and overall, because we have a mission and a vision. We are not people of commission, corruption, ambition and family profession, and therefore I give credit to Ram Lalla, Geeta and PDA.
You know, I love his acronyms. He's going to go very far in politics, given those acronyms. Mr. Modi has clearly got a few bucks in the party who know how to use acronyms rather well.
What I want to do now is play out a small excerpt from a show we had earlier today from Lucknow, where we spoke to voices on the ground, trying to get a sense of the pulse in Uttar Pradesh. So here are some excerpts from the Mood of the Nation poll from Uttar Pradesh from earlier today.
Joining you from the city of Lucknow, and once again, if political cliches could hold true, nothing.
विपक्ष की जल गई है एकता की रस्सी, इसलिए भाजपा यूपी में जीतेगी 80 में 80।
मुझे लगता है यहाँ पर बैठ के लच्छेदार बातें करना और थोड़ी बहुत शेरो शायरी कर लेना एक चीज है। आप धरातल पर आके असलियत देख लीजिए।
हम पूरे विश्वास के साथ कह रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी का उत्तर प्रदेश में खाता नहीं खुलने देंगे।
युवा चाहता है रोजगार, और रोजगार के नाम पर आप कहते हैं पकौड़े तल लो।
केवल भारतीय जनता पार्टी है जो बढ़ती हुई दिखाई दे रही है, बाकी सारे राजनीतिक दल आपको गिरते हुए दिखाई दे रहे हैं।
आप सबके अकाउंट में 15 लाख आ गए, 2 करोड़ बेरोजगार मिल गया, नहीं मिला।
और जब अलायंस करना था ना, तब राहुल जी के प्रोजेक्शन के लिए उनकी एक यात्रा प्लान कर दी गई, और जहाँ-जहाँ चरण पड़े राहुल के ताता बंटाधार हुआ। जैसे जैसे यात्रा प्रारंभ हुई, एक-एक करके अलायंस लगातार छूटते जा रहे हैं।
Shouldn't the India Alliance actually look at bringing in Mayawati, because the 8% vote share could also, she might not win a single seat.
As far as Behan Mayawati is concerned, I think it's really up to her what she would want to do.
370 हम कह रहे हैं क्योंकि 370 हमने हटाई है।
I want to come now to the state of Punjab, and just keep in mind that the numbers that you're about to see assume that the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress will find a way of fighting together. But this is a state where AAP and Congress are 1 and 2, and whenever two parties are 1 and 2, they typically find it very difficult to be able to distribute seats amongst themselves. Between 2 and 3, it's much easier than it is between parties that are 1 and 2. But since that's the way it is seeming on the surface, that's the calculation that we're about to show you. So here are the numbers for Punjab. I'm going to start by taking a look at the vote share numbers first. The BJP had 10% vote share in the previous Lok Sabha elections. That's now projected to go up to 17. That's 7% up. The Aam Aadmi Party had 7% vote share in the last Lok Sabha elections. That's now projected to go up to 27. That's 20% up from the last time. The Congress had 40% vote share in the last elections. That's now projected to come down to 38. That's 2% down from the last time. The Akalis had 28% vote share. That's now projected to come down to 14, a loss of 14% for the once formidable Akalis. Let's take a look at how this converts into seats. So on your screen right now, for the 13 seats of Punjab, here are the C-Voter India Today Mood of the Nation projections. C-Voters projecting that the BJP is likely to stay at 2 seats. They're 2. They're likely to stay at 2. What's gone out from the NDA kitty there are the Akali seats. The AAP is expected to be at 5 seats. That's up 4 from the last time if we see the party-wise breakup of these seats. The Akalis were at 2. That's likely to come down to 1. So the BJP holds on to its 2 seats. The AAP goes up from 1 to 5. Remember, in the first election they fought in 2014, they had 4 seats. So they go up to 5 this time. The Congress at 5. They were 8 last time, so they're down 3. And the Akalis are at 1, down 2. Now what could change potentially, Yashwant, is if at the last moment the Akalis and the BJP are able to tie, because behind the scenes is a lot happening. It's not firm, finalized, both sides haven't decided. The Akalis we know are keen, the BJP is 50-50, wishy-washy, but that can change anytime. And if that changes, how does that potentially change these numbers?
Of course, I mean, that would be having some impact for sure, because I guess that between the Akalis and the BJP, even though there has been quite a lot of bad blood in the recent years, as far as the core voting is concerned, they are pretty much supplementary in nature. The core has been anti-Congress vote at large, which the Akalis and the BJPs have been tending together. So this separation might have split it vertically, because BJP ran away with the Hindu votes and Akalis were with their Panthik votes. But if they come together, definitely that will have an impact. But it will not be the same kind of seat sharing, Rajdeep, that is for sure, because wherever BJP is going back with their old allies, the seat sharing equation is no more the same, which was defined by Vajpayee and Advani.
But you know, this is a fascinating state, Raj Chengappa, because the alliances have changed dramatically in the last few years. The BJP and the Akalis were together. AAP versus Congress was the battle of Punjab. They've now come together. They may not have chemistry on the ground. Do you really believe that this AAP-Congress alliance will work in the end and actually see the arithmetic benefits that this poll is suggesting? Or do you believe in the end it'll be very difficult for AAP and Congress to actually fight Punjab together, which may be another twist to these numbers?
It's my favorite state since I was there as editor-in-chief of the Tribune. But I think here, let's take Sanjay's argument of brand Modi and a referendum of that. How much of that is going to play out in Punjab? It never happened when Rajiv Gandhi, it was a very troubled state, of course, at that particular time. So the Congress never benefited at that time because of the wave that happened. So if you look at it currently, if the AAP and the Congress get together, they're a decisive force. Have they got together? Have they agreed on anything? That is not to be seen as yet.
No, but can I counter what you're saying to say that it's almost impossible? How will you decide if you're 1 and 2 in that state? On a drawing board, you can say whatever you want. Given the problems in Uttar Pradesh, given the problems in Bihar, it is very difficult. In Delhi, they may still have some kind of an arrangement. In Punjab, they'll ultimately come to the conclusion that it's better for us to fight separately.
No, they may well do that, Rahul. They actually seem to believe that that might even work to their favor. That, you have a multi-corner.
No, so I'm saying then the premise of the poll for Punjab is flawed because it hypothetically assumes that they're fighting together.
Yeah, sure. But the one thing about Punjab, to take from what Raj Chengappa said, and that's the fascinating part of Punjab, Sanjay Kumar, it's the one state in North India where the Modi wave has not worked, both in 2014 and 19. Look at both these elections. The Congress, if there's one state in northern India, held its own in the last 10 years, it's Punjab. You think the politics of Punjab, therefore, is very distinct and different from the rest of the country in a way?
Two factors. Even though the political clout of Shiromani Akali Dal has come down, but look at the states where regional parties are strong. BJP has not found it easy to make inroads. That's one case why in Punjab BJP has not been able to make inroads. Second, BJP has been contesting in Punjab in alliance with Akalis. So Akalis have been a dominant player. That was a difficulty in the Bihar also for the first couple of decades. Also, look at the social composition of Punjab. In Punjab, we have a very large majority of Sikh voters. So if you look at BJP's popularity, Narendra Modi's popularity, there is some difference if you look at among the Hindus and people belonging to different other religions. That is another factor why BJP has not been able to penetrate in Punjab the way they have been able to expand in other parts of
India.
No,
but the calculation in the BJP and Shehzad can build on this. I'll also show you the projection for Chandigarh, which is expected to go to the BJP. It's an urban pocket, and we saw the mess in the mayoral elections recently, but the poll is predicting that Chandigarh goes to the BJP. The problem is both the Home Minister and the Prime Minister have often say that they're very emotionally invested in the Punjab story. And yet on the ground we see, especially amongst the Sikhs, this pushback. So how does this square? The fact that the Prime Minister himself feels so emotionally close to the Punjabi community, to the Sikh religion, and yet there is a lot of antipathy and a very strong pushback.
Rahul, look, what Sanjayji was saying just now, that since we were the younger brother in the alliance, and that alliance was not purely for political reasons, it was also for ensuring the message of Sabka Saath and Samajik Sohar between the Hindu-Sikh community. And therefore, we sacrificed a lot of our space and a lot of the other things also while we were in that alliance. For the first time now, we are finding our feet in Punjab, not just in urban areas, but also in the rural pockets. And therefore, this vote is a vote of expansion. It is a vote of credibility that will keep increasing over the few period of years. And look at the outreach that Prime Minister Modi has done towards the Sikh community. It is not a political outreach, it is an emotional outreach, whether it is celebrating the Prakash Parbs of the great gurus of the Sikh community, whether it is celebrating Veer Balas Divas, or whether it is reaching out to various sections, whether it is the FCRA clearance on Harminder Sahib, langars that we are making GST free. So I think there's a concerted effort. Not everything is done only for political purpose. Some things are beyond politics. For Rashtra Niti, we have done a lot of things, and I think that is also being reflected because Punjabis are very patriotic people. They are ready to sacrifice their lives for the nation. They have contributed so much to the armed forces, and I think you'll see, because the kind of mismanagement Aam Aadmi Party is doing. Look at the Nasha Mafia, look at the kind of corruption that is taking place. I'm not saying this. Mr. Sidhu is saying about the corruption. And also the alliance between Congress and
here
AAP,
in Punjab, Amitabh Tiwari, is if they fight separately, this calculation, and you're seeing the India numbers projected by C voter to zoom up in terms of vote share very substantially, all that is based on the assumption that they fight together. If they don't fight together, and if this is the base where Akalis are at 27% vote share, up 20 from the last time, Congress is at 38% vote share, down 2 from the last time, up at 27, up 20, Congress at 38, down 2, Akalis at 14, down 14. How could Punjab read in the absence of this alliance?
See, Punjab is the hotbed of anti-center politics. So even if AAP and Congress do not form an alliance, and unless the Akali Dal forms an alliance with the BJP, these numbers could still hold. So unless the Akali Dal ties up with the BJP, I don't see a substantial difference in the numbers, because the politics itself there is anti-center. Hindu being the majority in the rest of the country, but being a minority there complicates the political dynamics there.
And you know, it's interesting to look at this, because if we turn to the next state, because I think these two states reflect just how India's map is so complex. Just turn to Delhi, not too far away from Punjab, where again the Congress and the AAP are trying to tie up. Just look at how the numbers stack up in Delhi. 7 seats on offer, but the national capital is often a barometer of what tends to happen across North India. Take a look at vote share. As per this, in Delhi, even with the Congress-AAP alliance, you have 57% vote share going to the BJP and 40% to the India alliance of the Congress and AAP together, others 3. How does this then translate into seats? 7 seats in Punjab, in Delhi, all 7 went last time, remember, to the BJP. All 7 will go back to the BJP as per this poll. So that takes off from what Amitabh Tiwari just said. Punjab is almost sui generis, Rahul Verma. There, if the Congress and AAP tie up, they do very well. They tie up in Delhi, where the AAP is in power again, and yet it's a clean sweep for the BJP. Does this reflect urban mindsets and Delhi mindsets versus the anti-center mindset, as Amitabh put it about Punjab?
Yes, a little bit, Rajdeep. That Punjab, the demographic composition is different. It has always had an uneasy relationship with the center, even when Congress party was in power in 1970s and 80s. But you have to also understand that this alliance in both Delhi and Punjab is not easy. Because in Punjab, Aam Aadmi Party feels that they can gain these seats even without the Congress. So you've seen Chief Minister of Punjab making statements that we don't need to have an alliance. And in Delhi, even if they come together, they will not be able to make any dent.
No, but why not? Why, you know,
the reason is that Congress
explain why the Aam Aadmi Party in 2 consecutive elections has swept Delhi, but the BJP has swept Delhi in Lok Sabha.
So BJP continues to hold 40% vote share in Delhi, no matter which election is happening. Congress gets 25% when Lok Sabha happens, but when Vidhan Sabha happens or MCD happens, Congress comes down below 10%. So that entire Congress vote, which is in Lok Sabha with them, actually shifts with the BJP. So AAP continues to be around 45 to 50% in assembly elections. But in Vidhan Sabha, BJP gains.
No, my view is it's the Modi factor. You know, what seems to be is that the Lok Sabha elections, you look at Narendra Modi. When you're fighting a state election, you look at Arvind Kejriwal. That's happened 2 elections in a row. And it seems, as per your numbers, it's going to happen again.
It's a split vote, Rajdeep, and it's happening across India, across all the states, honestly speaking. Each and every state, if you look into the vote share of the last assembly and the last Lok Sabha in together, you will see somewhere between 10 to 25% of jump in favor of the BJP whenever the Lok Sabha elections are there. However, in case of Punjab, I must mention this because it's an important and critical point to add. In the last 10 years, in our daily tracker, there are only 3 states where Rahul Gandhi as an individual leader has scored over in popularity over Narendra Modi. 3 states all across India. One is Punjab, one is Tamil Nadu, and one is Kerala. And they have been like that. But one critical thing is, 10 years back, the gap between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi was so huge in all these 3 states that it was a one-way traffic of sort. But over the 10 years, this gap is reducing and reducing and reducing, and it used to be in double digits. Right now, it is in single digits.
But you know, the split vote, I think, Rahul, is going to become more and more important. Voters seeing Lok Sabha very different to Vidhan Sabha. And Salman shows that's your big problem in a way. In Delhi itself, in the heart of the national capital, even if you tie up with AAP, it's the BJP that sweeps the election. That suggests to me that that voter is giving a huge bump to the BJP the moment it's a Lok Sabha election and Mr. Modi is on the ticket.
No, I look at it a little differently. What I'm seeing is, if this data is correct, and I have no way of knowing whether this is or this is not, we'll find out during the elections. But the Congress vote share is coming up in Delhi because people see, many people remember the governance that Congress has delivered to this country. And that is why I think you see the vote share coming up at the time when it comes to national level politics. Why that doesn't happen at when your state level elections?
I don't know what you're saying, Salman Bhai. From 23, it's gone up to 25. That's up 2 up. From 18 is down to 15. That's down 3. BJP was at 57. It's at 57. So you're clutching at straws, really.
Rahul, I was talking about the comparison with assembly elections. Somebody said that, you know, during assembly elections, the vote share goes down, and during parliamentary elections, it has come up. So clearly, people do remember that the UP at times are very good, and why should they not? I mean, the per capita income of this country...
No, 1 minute, sir. You're still 32% behind the BJP. Rashid Kidwai, this is the problem the Congress is facing. When it comes to a Lok Sabha election, Mr. Modi is on the ticket. It appears that the Congress is not preferred to the BJP. We've seen that. Direct BJP-Congress fights, the Congress loses out now. Even in an alliance with AAP, they may lose out in Delhi.
Yeah, but Rajdeep, Delhi's story is very simple. It is due to Muslim vote that swings. In assembly election, Muslim vote tends to favor Arvind Kejriwal's party, and in Lok Sabha election, it favors the Congress. So that is why there is a kind of mismatch. And when we talk about vote share, we must look at the each and every constituency profile, and that's where it matters. So even if some parties may be 40% plus, another party is 57%, in 7 Lok Sabha seats, the results may be slightly different. So vote share.
So you make an important point. In a seat like, say, Chandni Chowk or in East Delhi,
absolutely,
where the minorities are in big numbers, Rashid Kidwai's argument is, and that's where we can go across Sanjay Kumar, that as far as the state is concerned, it may still be 57 versus 25 and 13, but in that concentrated pocket, it may help this alliance, if it comes together, put a tighter fight in 2 seats, at least East Delhi and Chandni Chowk.
This is a possibility, Rahul. I don't rule out this possibility. But if we are looking at on one side 57 and on the other side it is, say, in the 40s, 42, 45, 46, this is huge gap, makes it impossible that there are chances of close contest or a reversal in a couple of constituencies.
The real story is the BJP, which gets about 38 to 40% in Vidhan Sabha, goes up to 57 in Lok Sabha.
So Vidhan Sabha ki baat hi nahi kar rahe.
No, that's the story. But that's the story. Modi,
that's the story for Vidhan Sabha election, not for a Lok Sabha election.
Sir, the point is the Modi factor, Rahul, is giving the BJP an 18 to 20% jump. That's the story. From 37, 38%, where it loses to the Aam Aadmi Party, which gets over 50%. So the Aam Aadmi Party is clearly seen as a Delhi regional party. And the BJP in a Lok Sabha election takes it. Whatever the minority vote may get consolidated, but the majority vote in Delhi is going firmly towards the BJP for the Lok Sabha. 6 months later, have a Vidhan Sabha election, and the situation at least twice before has been very different.
True. This time around, we don't know.
So I think that's
Rahul,
the significance.
I wanted to make a quick point. Yes.
Two things. One, the minority factor will come into play only assembly elections, where the assembly constituencies are smaller, and then you have enough number which can swing vote. Even in Chandni Chowk, you don't have 50% Muslim population, which can suddenly turn the seat.
And besides, after delimitation in 2008, the entire composition of these seats have changed. Actually, in Delhi, there is not even a single Lok Sabha seat now which can say that, okay, minority votes are the decisive vote here. Yeah. Earlier, the Chandni Chowk, before till 2009 elections probably, that was the probability, but after 2008, delimitation.
No, but in Delhi, if AAP and Congress are on the same ticket, it does make things more exciting.
It does certainly, absolutely. It makes
sense. Still be 7,
but having said that, you know, it's also the fact, you know, Rajdeep, Sheila Dikshit ji was very clear, very clear that if Congress has to revive, they have to make sure they do not go with Aam Aadmi Party. Without you know, that's how.
Is also clear.
So she has been very clear. So
I really think, Rahul, the story which we must stress is this Modi factor. Because this kind of split verdict.
But you're sounding surprised about it.
No, because it's nowhere else in the world. You see, go across the world. A Republican state will vote for the Republicans, both for the Senate usually and for the presidential election. In India, you're seeing it now in 2 consecutive elections. For Delhi, we want Arvind Kejriwal, but upar hamare liye Narendra Modi. And you're going to see it across the country.
Because America doesn't have a Modi, that's why.
I don't think it's as simplified as that. I think the Indian voter has very consciously decided who I want for Chief Minister and who I want for Prime Minister. And I think it is fascinating because I don't think, as I said, I don't know any other country in the world where it happens.
No, we make too much out of this, and this is my personal opinion. There is only 15 to 20% of vote which swings here and there.
That's a lot.
No, but in only couple of states, except Odisha, except Delhi, do you see a split verdict of this kind?
Yes, Karnataka. You see Karnataka in election after election, you vote for one party in the Vidhan Sabha, you vote for another party in Lok Sabha. I'm willing to have a small wager that there'll be another half a dozen states where this will happen.
Can you bet like now, after Congress winning Karnataka in 2023, Congress is going to do same way as it done in 2019?
But I met a Maharashtra leader yesterday. He said, we have put all our eggs, a Maharashtra Congress leader, we have put all our eggs in Vidhan Sabha. I said, what about Lok Sabha? He said, Lok Sabha madhe Modi aahe. Please understand. That's how they are seeing it. Here's the reality on the ground.
2019.
Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh.
Let's come to Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, because this is a fascinating political adda, and if we go on, we can be here all evening. So I want to come now to Madhya Pradesh and take you through the numbers. We need to just step on the pedal a bit so we can go, otherwise we'll be here all evening. So in Madhya Pradesh, the BJP had 28 seats. Apart from Chhindwara, they won 28 out of 29 seats. This time, they're expected to come down to 27. The India Alliance had 1, expected to go up to 2. This is as far as votes are concerned. 58% last time for the BJP, same this time. And the Congress's vote share, 35 last time, expected to be 38 this time. So basically, you're predicting that one other seat could possibly go away from the BJP and one extra seat could get added to the Congress. I want to quickly go across to Rajasthan as well. From Madhya Pradesh, we'll take vote share first. The NDA had 61% vote share, the BJP had 61% vote share, this time 59. The Congress had 34, this time 35. Let's quickly see how that converts into seats. No surprises here. If that's how big your lead is, 59 plays 35 in a bipolar election, it's a clean sweep. So they're holding on, Yashwant Deshmukh, 2 areas where they shouldn't lose. You know, all these complicated, really detailed, finesse, nuance graphics that we have on the election intelligence dashboard, they're not going to be of any use. If this is how one-way the traffic is, then what's the point of all the finessing?
Well, you know, I was just trying to give what Rajdeep was saying. I will just give a term to it. I call it Modi dividend. There is a clear cut, on an average, 15 points Modi dividend as far as the Lok Sabha election is concerned. And the split vote, ironically, you know, I coined that term in 2004 while explaining why Vajpayee's popularity did not translate into votes for the NDA in 2004, because there was a lack of a split vote. And since then, we have seen slowly and steady, the number has been increasing. While Rahul is correct that, in many of the states, it is not very clear-cut in that way, because in many states where BJP has been absent, their split vote also to take them across a threshold of 30% wouldn't come. Like, say, for example, Kerala. Kerala Vidhan Sabha election, BJP goes into single digits. In Lok Sabha election, they almost touch 20%.
But can I just make a point, and Raj, I want you to come in on this. When BJP swept states like Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh in 2019, we called it the Balakot bump. That post Balakot, Mr. Modi had taken over the entire space. Now, even without Balakot, the fact is in both these states, the BJP is holding its own, sweeping Rajasthan as per this poll. 27 out of 29 in Madhya Pradesh. In Rajasthan, there was a close contest just a month ago. And yet now, Lok Sabha, it appears it's the BJP all the way. What explains it? So we can even throw Balakot probably out of the equation. Just say there is the Moditwa factor.
If you look at it, and if you ask somebody, even in Delhi or in Madhya Pradesh, who would you really want in the center? I mean, that's the question. And that answer is a very logical answer that voters would give. I would gather in Madhya Pradesh as well, who is the Congress projecting for them to vote for?
Even as Prime Minister?
As Prime Minister. Whereas you have Modi, and he has performed well. The state has rewarded him well. And I think here, if you look at it, just to make a larger point, there has to be a saffron wash, what I call a saffron wash, in about 6-7 states for the BJP to get to its 303 or 370. Madhya Pradesh is one of those states. It lost one seat last time. And there's a whole cluster of states where their vote percentage is 50% or more. I think, let's take the seats, 223 seats or so, where their margin is so big, over 5 lakhs or something, that they will win. Madhya Pradesh is one of those states that's there. So there are 2 points I'd like to make. One is what you were saying earlier, that the Modi factor will work very, very strongly to dispel any state kind of resistance that is building or any Congress support that could move towards Rahul or anything that's there. And 2, these are the kind of states where when we have 50%, the opposition has no chance.
Sure, but Amitabh Tiwari, this comes back to the point which many people have been making, that the real battle for the opposition was to try and take on the BJP, where there's a direct BJP-Congress fight. 186 seats last time where there was a fight, the Congress won just 12. If these numbers are to be replicated, it once again shows where the Congress is the main opposition, i.e. Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, the BJP is the front runner, and you're seeing the Prime Minister in all his recent speeches not focusing on regional parties, targeting the Congress, the Kamzor Kadi, as the BJP sees it.
Yes, so one of the main reasons why BJP is against sweeping both these states is because it is facing Congress as the opposition, number one. Number two, the India alliance partners do not have a single vote in these 2 states. So there is no advantage to Congress of any India bloc formation because it does not get the reciprocity. And number 3 is that, as you said, the Modi factor, let's say. So 33% people, or around 37% people voted on the name of the PM face. So if you don't have a PM face, you are excluding 37% of the voters from the target
segment.
segment.
These numbers leave the Congress party. They've lost Madhya Pradesh, they've lost Rajasthan Assembly election, they've lost Chhattisgarh. Now you've got a possible sweep as per this Mood of the Nation poll. Will it only further demoralize the Congress in the heartland?
Rajdeep, actually that's the real trouble with the Congress party, because Congress is strategist, and that includes Mr. Yogendra Yadav, a new addition in team Rahul Gandhi. And I heard, once he told you also in an interview, he seems to think that the, Congress will get 7, 8, 9 seats in Rajasthan, 5, 6 seats in Madhya Pradesh and in Chhattisgarh. So there is, he's converting that vote percentage, that 40% plus vote percentage
of the
Vidhan Sabha into Lok Sabha. And that is where I think there is a tactical error, but Rahul Gandhi is buying that. And India Alliance is buying that. So
Salman shows this is the real problem in a way for the Congress party to revive itself. These are the states where you needed to focus upon in the last 6 months. You've lost assembly, and now you could be wiped out in Lok Sabha.
Rajdeep, you are thinking that the only people who are fighting this election are basically Khargeji and Rahul Gandhi. We have leaders in our states. They're fighting elections. They're getting ready. So what will become evident later on is, in your own poll, we're seeing, say, for example, a bump of 3 percentage points for India Alliance, which is Congress in Madhya Pradesh, for example. What that tells me is that there is a solid base for the Congress party to build on. And from now until the elections, anything is possible. So, yes, the perception that is being built is that the Modi ji has won, everything is done. And by the way, yes, exactly, the PDA. Let me get to the PDA that my friend Shahzad talked about. The PDA is, what is it? It is propaganda. There is nobody who does propaganda more than Narendra Modi and the BJP. What does D stand for? D is destruction of relationships between brothers, Hindus, Muslims in this country. And what is A? A stands for arrogance of party, of money, of control of media. By the way, in the Hindi belt that we are talking about, how many newspapers carry any news from the Congress party? You know it and I know it. Hindi newspapers do not carry news of the Congress party. Meanwhile, not just regular news of the Prime Minister. Anytime the Prime Minister says something, he's plastered on television all the time. No wonder people think there is nobody but Narendra Modi, because that is what the media has been projecting. And by the way,
I will slightly beg to differ. I read the Dainik Bhaskar every morning, and the Dainik Bhaskar is one of the fine papers of the country that does give a lot of news, including news critical of the state governments in those states. So I don't think that's the reason.
So I have a few minutes left.
Okay, it's the biggest newspaper across these states, but go ahead.
We have a few minutes left, and I want to finish with the other states in North India. So I want to come to Jammu and Kashmir. In Jammu and Kashmir, the NDA is projected to have about 49% of the vote share. That's up 3 from the last time. Remember that a lot of this vote share for the BJP actually comes from the Jammu region, right? The India Alliance, which is Congress plus NC plus potentially PDP as well, at 36. That's down 3 from the last time. Others at 15. Converted into seats, Yashwant and his team are projecting that the NDA will be at 2, which is where they were last time. The India Alliance, which is all these 3 parties together, will be at 3. So basically the Valley seats going to the India Alliance, the Jammu seats, regardless of what happens in the Jammu region, going to the BJP. From there, let's come to Ladakh, where we saw a big protest recently, but despite that, Yashwant and his team are projecting that Ladakh will be with the NDA. From there, let's now come to Haryana. 10 seats in Haryana. The India Alliance, the NDA, which is BJP and JJP in Haryana, now expected to come down from 10 to 8, a loss of 2. The Congress, which lost even Rohtak last time, expected to go up from 0 to 2, up 2. Now, what makes you think that that is going to happen, given the fact that there is a 12% vote share gap, 50 plays 38 in Haryana?
Haryana don't count the vote share gaps as such, because you remember that Haryana assembly election, out of the fact that BJP was having a almost 10% gap lead over the BJP, I kind of predicted that BJP will sweep, but it became a hung. Where on earth did you find that a party with a lead of 10% votes and still ended up in a hung assembly in Haryana? So there are 2 different kinds of Haryanas. Let's be very upfront about it. You know, there are 2 different Haryanas. And it's not regional. It's about the demographics of different seats. And the seats where it would be a Jat-dominated seats, they will be problematic for the BJP. The non-Jat seats would be easier for the BJP to win.
Let's come to Himachal. Himachal is the one state we haven't dealt with in the north yet. Himachal, 69% vote share for the BJP last time. This time expected to be 60%, down 9. The Congress at 27, expected to go up to 29. Remember, in Himachal, of the 4 seats, they are predicting that the BJP will pick all 4, the India Alliance none. The government in Himachal Pradesh at this time is the Congress government of Sukhwinder Singh Sukhru. Despite that, the Congress makes no gains in the Lok Sabha election in Haryana. Then the last state is Uttarakhand, where they're predicting just a small dip in the NDA's fortunes when it comes to vote share, from 61 to 59, down 2. India Alliance at 32, up 1. But when it comes to seats, all 5 seats predicted to go to the BJP.
You know, therefore, when you look at the big picture, from the first region that we've looked at, and this is, if you're a T20 match and it's power play and you've just finished 6 overs of the 20, think of North India like this. The projected seat share across North India. First, the vote share across North India. NDA 52%, India Alliance 38%, others 10%. That's a 14% double-digit gap, and that includes, remember, Punjab, where the BJP is relatively smaller in terms of its vote share. How does this translate into seats, Rahul? And I think this is the story, and this has been the story not just now, but also 2014 and 2019. 154 of the 180 seats, as per the mood of the nation, done by C-Voter, go to the NDA, 25 to India Alliance. And remember, of these 25, majority again coming in from Punjab. Effectively, Rahul, that means it's almost game, set, if not match, just when you look at the North Indian numbers. I mean, it is almost impossible then for any side to match up when you lose so big in such a large part of the country. And it's been the northwest monsoon that has really won the BJP 2014 and 19.
We haven't come to the west yet. You've seen the northern torrential downpour in favor of the BJP. We'll show you what's happening in the east and what's cooking around the Bay of Bengal in the east, and what's happening in the west along the Arabian Sea. So all that coming up in the second hour of programming. We've dealt with the north, where if this was, Rajdeep said, a T20 match, you know, there's just one-way traffic in this T20 match. You got one team which is blazing away.
6 overs, 100 runs. Huh? 6 overs, 100 runs. 14 runs and over, or 15 runs and over. Which, you know, really makes it almost impossible to come back.
And the thought that's coming to my mind, you know, there you see my election intelligence dashboard working. So many great ideas, so many different data sets which we are cutting and dissecting and diving. I'm wondering what's the point. If it's all pointing in the same direction, then there's going to be a lot of effort which won't really yield too much results. But anyway, unlike the opposition, we need to fight on. We need to bring all those data sets together for you.
Welcome back to the mood of the nation. India Today's biannual survey with C-Voter, which is telling you just ahead of the general elections what will happen in state by state to give you the big picture. Who's winning the battle for 2024?
We spent the first hour dealing with the North Indian states. We'll now switch to the south. And remember, Rajdeep, there's been this big north versus south effort that the opposition is making to try and build a narrative around how North Indian states are different from South Indian states. Do South Indian states truly feel and vote differently? We'll find out in this hour.
Remember, we've given you the North India numbers in the first hour. 154 of the 180 seats going to the BJP-led NDA. India Alliance just 25, others 1. So there's a north typhoon. What's happening in the south? Is there a hurricane the other way around? Let's start.
India mein cyclone aata hai, sir.
Cyclone. Okay, the southern cyclone. Sorry, the southern cyclone and there are cyclones that take place in south of the country. We're starting with Karnataka, a state which, remember, went to the polls 7 months ago in Vidhan Sabha. And interestingly, this is what it's showing. In terms of vote share, the NDA is way ahead of the India Alliance. Remember, there's a Congress government in Karnataka. 53% at the moment to the NDA, 42% to the India Alliance, others 5%. This is identical in vote share compared to 2019. How is this translating into seats? Remember, 28 seats in Karnataka, 25 were won by the BJP last time. And we are saying the BJP is down just 1. 24 from, remember, 27 now includes the JDS, which has joined hands with the BJP there. So the BJP, JDS 24, that's down 3, but they're still holding its own. India Alliance just 4 in a state where the Congress is in power, and India Alliance means effectively Congress here, others 0. So you've got the first southern state giving bad news to the Congress party. And Rajchengappa, it's your home state, so why don't you kick off? It suggests very different verdict to what we saw 7 months ago when the Congress won pretty decisively.
But let's say, Rajdeep, it's not surprising in Karnataka. If you recall, it started from Karnataka when Rajiv Gandhi swept Karnataka, winning about 26 out of 28 seats in 1984. Within 3 months, Ramakrishna Hegde was elected as chief minister. We're going to see the reverse polarization happening in this case, where for Karnataka they felt that the Congress was good, it was needed because the BJP government was not effective, and therefore the voters likely to tilt towards giving Modi the mandate, because he did campaign extensively there. He did push, if you remember the final phase, a certain percentage up over there. So Karnataka, and the other thing BJP has smartly done is tied up with the JDS. So the Vokliga vote, which would have made a decisive difference in Old Mysore and others, is getting split across these two. And secondly, if you look the way they have mended fences with the Lingayats, bringing Vijayendra, who's the son of Yadurappa, into the picture, the BJP has tried to cover its flanks. But let us see. I mean, Shiv Kumar is a wily contender, and you might see a little more seats going this way towards the Congress,
So, Yashwant, given the fact that Siddaramaiah and Shiv Kumar were in Delhi, and now you've got DMK ministers, you've got Pinarayi Vijayan trying to hit out at the center for not giving enough finances to the south, could that potentially become an issue? Because I was seeing in the south, there was a lot of traction, at least on social media, around this issue. As of now, it's just in its infancy. Could it build into a bigger headache for the BJP in the weeks to come?
Possible, because you see, without the JDS, BJP was in deep trouble. And they were pragmatic enough to take that much of arithmetic along. 6 months back, the same MOTM was showing BJP was in disarray because 10% approximately JDS votes of Vokaligas going along that. Now,
that's largely in Old Mysore.
Largely in Old Mysore. But the thing is that it's not just like, it might be decisive in Old Mysore, but there are pockets in across Karnataka, particularly in North Karnataka, where even 5 to 6% of Vokaliga votes shifting the BJP way will do the magic. However, the point which you are making is a North versus South divide, and the campaign that we are now watching in social media, that is an uncharted territory. Because I don't think any election whatsoever in the last 75 years, that play has been there. Barring the Tamil Nadu politics, outside that, the North-South divide was never played like that.
So that's important.
It's very important.
And this issue is still just about germinating.
It's just germinating.
Amitabh Tiwari, is there seamless transfer of votes from the Janata Dal secular to the BJP, or do you think it might seem like that, but on the ground, it's not so easy to transfer?
See, JDS vote is largely anti-Congress vote. See, the regional parties have been born out of anti-Congressism. And if you see the gap between India bloc and the NDA bloc, it's 11%, and out of which 9% is largely JDS. So JDS has pockets of influence in not only the old Mysuru, but even the Bangalore region. There, the implementation of schemes has been very good. And Congress is trying to project the Karnataka model as their model. But historically, BJP has been strong in Karnataka. From 1919 to 2019, they have won all the elections barring 1999. And surprisingly, BJP today, even in 2019, is the single largest party in South of India. Because South of India, there are regional parties who dominate and not the Congress party.
Sure, and that's also primarily because they won 25 seats in Karnataka last time. So Rahul Verma, let's come back to our debate that we had when we discussed Delhi. That the same voter who 7 months ago voted for Congress, possibly Siddaramaiah as CM, apparently 7 months later wants Modi as PM. As Raj Chengappa said, it's not unusual, but it seems to me the one state where it's pronounced in the south is in Karnataka.
See, Modi is one of the biggest vote aggregator of our time. There's no doubt about it. And he pulls BJP's vote. He's more popular than the party itself. If BJP gets around 37% vote, Modi's popularity rating would be around 45-50%. So that means PM pulls the party. What I was trying to differ with, that the segment which changes vote into election is smaller than the claim that we try to make.
Right.
And think of it, like Yashwant pointed this out. 6 months back, after the, so Karnataka elections happened in March and the last MOTN had happened around August. BJP was not doing that well. See, what BJP is doing in every state where they were having trouble is making efforts, right? In Karnataka, they tried to get JDS. They made a pact with Lingayat. On the other hand, and again, in Karnataka, what Amitabh had said in the beginning, the challenger is Congress. Congress seems not to be doing enough efforts in places where it's strong and credible.
No, but also imagine, Sanjay Kumar, despite being the mighty force that they are at the moment, the BJP is willing to tactically cede ground everywhere. Yeah. Even in Western Uttar Pradesh, to a party like the RLD, to the JDS, where they think that they can make inroads in Old Mysore.
And also, Rahul, they called the JDS, they called Kumaraswamy corrupt and a dynast. I mean, it was very clear, we will never touch the JDS. You'll recall
they called Mukul Sangma all kinds of things till the day the numbers came out. Then they changed their mind.
So the level of flexibility is very great. You know, Sanjay Kumar, because this was one of the states where there was a potential double-digit loss for the BJP.
So also look at the irony. The party that is supposed to have the ideology shows political dexterity. The party with no ideology, so to speak, in terms of certain core philosophical issues, is very rigid when it comes to tactical alliances. Sanjay Kumar.
I think the problem with the Congress is that it is slow in taking initiative. I would say even lazy in taking initiative. And if you look at the BJP on the other hand, even if they realize that they are going very strong in 2024, but they don't want to leave any chance. And my own sense is that if you talk to any BJP leader, they are pretty sure that they are winning 2024. But why they are entering into all these alliances despite ideological differences, despite having, you know, given strong statement against the leader of those parties, is that they want to big win. They don't only want to big 2024.
Let's take that just a minute. I'll come to you, Rashid, the moment. Mohan Kumar Mangalam, national spokesperson of the Congress, Ajay Alok of the BJP. To both of you, first to you, Mohan Kumar Mangalam. You know, there's so much of talk of the Karnataka model, that the Congress is saying the guarantees that we have given will win us an election. The numbers at the moment are showing, at least in a Lok Sabha, that's not working. I spoke to Mr. Siddaramaiah only yesterday. He seemed very confident. He also is playing this sort of discrimination against Karnataka card. But at the end of the day, our numbers are showing the BJP virtually repeating its performance of 2019, which would be hugely significant.
If your numbers do bear out, Rajdeep, it would be hugely significant, no doubt. But I think your survey was conducted between December, May to January end, if I'm not wrong, which is at the height of the Ram Mandir propaganda craze that happened. And everything online, everything on TV, everything you turned on any channel was about the Ram Mandir. So I think definitely that sort of hysteria would have been captured somewhere in your survey. I don't think that they would find it easy to maintain that kind of momentum going forward. The other thing is the arithmetic of JDS plus BJP might look right, but I don't think the chemistry works at all. Just for example, Kumarasamy was in a rally with the BJP and was wearing a saffron shawl, I think, and the senior patriarch Devagowda came out and said that it would have been better had he been wearing JDS colors. So even something as small as that could be a flashpoint for misunderstanding between the two. The third thing is, you know, you have this national narrative of the BJP that is against nepotism, dynastic rule, etc. So I'm wondering how they're going to reconcile that with pushing Vijayendra to the front as sort of the face of their party in Karnataka. You just can't reconcile the two in a national election. And like I said, alliances, whether that be with the JDS or with someone else, they don't really... Vote transference is going to be one of the major issues to watch out for in there.
Ajay Alok, on Karnataka, the transferability of votes from the Janata Dal secular to the BJP and vice versa, the Congress would hope that that might not be easy. We saw in the last elections, but also the JDS's vote is typically an anti-Congress vote. It didn't happen when the Congress and the JDS were together. That's the concern. Will there be transferability of votes, or do you think, especially in Old Mysore, the BJP is now seeping the idea that it's okay to vote for the Kamal, and that helps the BJP in a 15-20 year horizon as well, build in the one region where they are weak in Karnataka?
See, one thing they are conveniently forgetting, that Congress snatched almost 6 to 7% of JDS votes in the last Vidhan Sabha election, but they were not able to snatch our votes. Our votes percentage was quite the same, 36.2, what we got and what we got in the last assembly election. And JDS vote bank significantly reduced from 19-20% to 13%, and this was majority vote completely. It was minority vote which shifted to the Congress. Now there is a feeling of angst and there is a feeling of appeasement everywhere in Karnataka, and how the Karnataka government is performing since they have formed the government. So there is a natural chemistry and a bonhomie between JDS and the BJP, and BJP and JDS combined together, we are crossing 50% mark very easily.
Sir, with due regard,
and with the dynamism and with the momentum of the election going on.
Sir, with due regard, when you say natural chemistry, 7 months ago you were name-calling each other. I mean, you were calling him a dynast, you were saying their family is corrupt, the Gowda family is corrupt. This was, all your top leaders were going to Karnataka and saying this. So, is it that you've decided चुनाव के लिए कुछ भी. Forget the past. We have to win 2024.
See, चुनाव के लिए कुछ भी नहीं. We are a political party and we have to look at the situation at the ground. And of course, when we are not with JDS, why we shouldn't highlight their problem and what their corruption issue was. The Congress will also do the same. Now, since they are with us, we have to look at the ground reality of what kind of appeasement politics is being followed in Karnataka. And that
are they now not corrupt? My direct question to you is: JDS not corrupt now? Is JDS now no longer dynastical?
Well, it is dynastical. As far as corruption the matter goes, it's all in the court. If they are convicted, they are corrupt. And JDS is dynastical, there is no doubt about it. We are having a strategic alliance with them. They are not merging into BJP.
Yes, Rashid Kitwa, you wanted to make a point.
I think, Rajdeep, if Yashwant Deshmukh's figure come true in Karnataka, this would really reflect mood of the nation. Here is a government which is a proven track record, performing well. The Congress party is there on the ground. It's not a lazy party, at least in Karnataka. And in spite of that, if they lose badly, that will tell you a mood of the nation, a pro-Modi wave. Second thing is, it will also create a huge political upheaval. You remember, there was a lot of rivalry going on between Siddaramaiah, Chief Minister, and DK Shivakumar. And this will, become a big issue.
So are you saying the possibility of that government either falling as it did after 2019, or are you saying there could be a change in Chief Minister if these numbers hold?
All kind of possibilities are there. If this happens, then I don't see future for Siddaramaiah government there.
Okay. From Karnataka, let's come to Telangana. I'm just trying to keep it moving so we're able to give enough time, because otherwise we have very irate viewers in a particular state that this is how important our state is and you didn't give us enough time. So let's just try and keep it moving. Let's come to Telangana. We look at the vote share numbers for Telangana first and then the seat share numbers. So in Telangana, the BJP thinks they will be able to gain ground. They had 4 seats the last time. So when we look at the seat share for the BJP in Telangana, our poll is predicting 21%, just marginally up, 1% up from the last time. The big jump here is for the Congress, which was at 30% last time, this time at 41%. Whereas the BRS and the other parties, which includes OVC, coming down to 38 from 50% the last time. So the big change really is the bump in the fortunes of the Congress and the decline in the fortunes of the BRS. How does this translate into seats? The only sliver of hope that we're seeing of all the numbers that we've put out so far in the Mood of the Nation opinion poll are actually coming from the 17 seats of Telangana, where the Congress's tally is expected to go up from 3 potentially to 10. That's up 7 from the last time. The BJP was at 4, could come down to 3. That's down 1. The BRS was at 9, could come down to 3. That's down 6. The AIMM stays where it was the last time. So OVC wins his seat. 3 to 10. Now, from what I know, Amit Shah and the BJP big guns will be figuring out some way कि इनको ये 10 नहीं देनी है, इनको कुछ नहीं देना है भाई.
Rahul, the fact is honeymoons do exist. I know that we are in a world where even live-in relationships are now looked at with a question mark, but a honeymoon is still fine.
In the poll, the honeymoon is on. Whether it will be on in May or not, we don't know.
This is the one state where at the moment, Yashwant's poll seems to suggest that the honeymoon is on. They just won an election, 2 months ago? And therefore, there isn't even enough time for any anti-incumbency as of now to build. That's the sense I get, Yashwant. Am I right? Because in the contrast with Karnataka here seems clear, where the Congress is still very much the new party that has just toppled a 10-year-old government.
I think Congress is reaping benefit of the popularity of Revanth Reddy. I think what is happening here is that in absence of any national leadership popularity or popular national leadership, Congress has to now look around for the popularity of their local leaders, and this is one state where definitely the popularity of Revanth Reddy is.
So why is it working in Telangana but not Karnataka?
It's not working simply because we have got 2 popular contenders, and Rashid Bhai might be able to tell this, but I am dead sure that the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka would not like Congress to win in Karnataka in Lok Sabha election, because if Congress loses Karnataka in Lok Sabha election, that paves the way for him to become the Chief Minister.
I think this is a bit unfair, because Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, and Rajdeep would correct me if I am wrong, played a very big role even in Telangana, the amount of efforts he made there. So so far he's a disciplined soldier of the Congress.
But let's be very clear. It appears one regional party is the one completely getting squeezed out here. Chandrasekhar Rao has virtually gone dormant since that defeat. That vote, the Congress seems to have captured to a large extent if these numbers hold. And the BJP has its pockets in Telangana, but has not been able to truly spread across the state. Would that be a fair understanding, Amitabh, of these numbers?
Yeah, I see. In a largely bipolar national election, the regional parties tend to get squeezed out, and Telangana is one of the states. But it reveals a very fascinating insight: is that Congress, wherever is it gaining, it is gaining at the expense of regional parties, and that is the basic problem in that India alliance. It is gaining at the expense of BRS and not BJP. So how can it lead an alliance of regional parties where the regional parties have been formed out of anti-Congressism? TMC has come out of Congress. YSRCP has come out of Congress. SP has largely done anti-Congress politics.
But it also shows there is no substitute for hard work on the ground, Rahul Verma. The fact is the Congress in Telangana genuinely made an effort in the last 1 year or 18 months.
6 months.
Yeah, I mean 6 months.
After the Karnataka
but to be fair, after Karnataka they got momentum, Rahul. But there was a sense that the Congress in Telangana was slowly, at least, they were there on the ground. They were more visible after Karnataka, no doubt about that, Rahul. But I think, would it be right to say that there is a lesson there? You work hard on the ground, you throw up a leader like Revanth Reddy who's able to connect, and maybe, just maybe, who knows where the future is? Telangana has been a Congress state. Indira Gandhi contested from Medak all those years ago. But at least in Karnataka and Telangana, you have a party on the ground.
We all are taught this lesson from childhood, that you have to work hard to get something, right?
Zameen par raho.
So it's not just for politics that you have to work hard. Sometimes, see, Congress also, not just because of the hard work in Telangana, but also some of the mistakes that BJP as well as BRS made in Telangana, which gave that kind of edge to Congress in Telangana. And of course, Revanta is now very, very popular. BRS is not picking up from the defeat it faced last time, and that's the advantage they are getting. And BJP has still not been able to figure out what its Telangana strategy is going to be, unlike in other states. So are they going to make efforts as they did in Karnataka or Maharashtra or Bihar in Telangana or not? So that still remains to be seen.
That's interesting, Raj Chengappa, because, the BJP has also been caught in Telangana between, do we play OBC politics, do we project an OBC leader, what, do we take strident anti-Muslim politics, will that take us forward? Somehow, for all the gains they made in Telangana 5 years ago, they've remained stagnant. One of the few states where they've not, multiplied overnight.
I think the BJP is still shell-shocked by what happened. And the way the Congress came in and snatched what they thought was their territory, because KCR was on the decline, and the Congress smartly moved in and got the prize. But I just want to make a larger point, which we did in passing reference. And we talked about, and Rajdeep, you talked about, I think this whole thing that Siddaramaiah and Shivkumar came to Delhi for, and you've seen these full-page advertisements about the South being neglected, not being given the due in terms of its money that was there. I think that is a potent force as it gets along, because it's also tied up with delimitation in some senses. That somehow the South is performing very well. Telangana is one of the states. Karnataka we talked about, and yet, so this kind of thing can begin to erode on the Modi wave factor.
No, so it is an idea. There can be no doubt about it. But does the opposition have the wherewithal to mount it into a meaningful idea, take it down to the ground in the weeks before polling?
No, but give you a very interesting example. Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan is in town today. He led a protest. The Congress decided not to join it because the left is their prime opponent in Kerala. So there are internal divisions. But when I asked Mr. Siddaramaiah, he said, yes, we would like to hold a convention of all the southern chief ministers soon. So they will play this card. And at least it's a card with some emotional connect.
No, but it's also Picho Suja. It's a real last minute kind of idea, right? To be able to take this idea, build it into something big requires some time. And
the other worry is...
idea to begin with. You are only 2 months away from the election. Even if you play it well, South is only 130 or 140.
No, but in those states
Rahul,
it may do well.
Rahul, can I just make a point? If in Karnataka they've swallowed the poison chalice in some sense, had to drink from that one, it is because they know that if they lose Karnataka, the BJP, the whole Modi wave that begins to shrink, because at 25 seats, it is the one that tilts decisively in terms of if moving from, say, whatever figure that they have now, if they are 303, if it starts dropping like they had last time, they lose a lot. So that is why you will see that they are so concerned. Look at they are willing to compromise, whether it is in Bihar, as we've seen, in any of these places, despite the fact that they seem invincible, the BJP is insecure for whatever reason, and it is showing up in these places.
I actually don't think it's insecurity. I actually now am convinced the BJP, as you saw with Mr. Modi talking about 370 and 400, it's like pushing your troops to try and conquer what is seemingly impossible. So you say Karnataka, okay, people are saying we are going to lose there, put all your might in Karnataka. The Prime Minister's repeated trips to the south at a time when, you would have thought they would say, okay, south is an area where we will not do well, suggests that actually they think south is a growth area. So it's fascinating.
Okay, so one seemingly impossible thing, but why not? When you are talking about the possibilities, if the BJP can go all the way to bring the JDS, if the BJP can go all the way to bring Nitish Kumar, why nobody is talking about possibility of BJP and BRS coming together?
Look, the BJP at the moment, the BJP is hunting for allies all over. The BRS is a potential ally, but I think they see Telangana as one of the states where they want to grow in the future. And to grow, they have to finish the BRS. See, once the regional party is finished, make it BJP versus Congress in Telangana, advantage BJP. So that's the one reason why they may hesitate from taking on the BRS. And Chandrasekhar Rao is a wily leader. I think Kumaraswamy is desperate.
Rajdeep, correct me, Raj.
No, I just want to make a quick point to what you made.
Yeah.
The fact is that Modi came into Telangana for an election campaign and said that KCR approached him to help out his son, and so there was this talk of an alliance that was building over there. Yeah. And of course, as we've seen, they've patched up with JDS.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. So the point which
Telangana is fascinating, but we need to move on, because otherwise we'll get caught in the politics of one state, and then people in Andhra will start feeling bad, and that's never a good idea when you're discussing Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh on your screen next. 25 seats here. I look at projected vote shares first. The YSRCP of Jagan Reddy had 49% vote share last time. That's projected to come down to 41. That's 8 down from the last time. But the TDP, which was at 40% the last time, is now expected to go up to 45. Remember, we had